Over 60 years has passed since the right to housing was declared in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. However, majority of Ugandans still do not understand their right to adequate housing. Given the fact that people living in poor housing conditions are prone to poor living conditions. World Health Organization research studies have shown that an indecent house is prone to poor living conditions, poor health, poor sanitation, and poor environment. WHO has now adopted the healthy housing approach as an international guidance to help prevent a wide range of diseases and unintentional injuries that can be effectively addressed through better housing. Unfortunately, housing is given such a low priority compared to other sectors like water, health, and defense. According to Shelter and Settlement Alternatives, Uganda Human Settlement Network, a network organization that advocates for better human settlements, adequate housing is more than just a roof and four walls. It entails a clean house, access to clean and safe water, sanitation, health, security of tenure, and access to basic infrastructure.
We plan to address these challenges by, first and foremost, approaching the duty bearers, the government, the local governments, the municipals, and then also getting the critical mass of the communities to be able to speak for themselves. Because if the communities cannot speak for themselves, we cannot speak for them either. So we are trying to create that critical mass with the communities, but also to approach the right government and development partners that can come together with us to make a bigger effect.
Shelter had the opportunity to hear from the community members of Katwe, a nearest slum of Uganda's capital Kampala, on what they understand as adequate housing and good living.
Amanya ganze namanda Jenny, mbeera mu Katwe Base Zone, Katwe 2, ndi member wa Galima, ntunda ennyaanya zino z'olaba ne muwogo ono ow'ekinzaali, era mbikolera wano. Nkeera ku makya ngenda mu katale mu bwino ngenda n'embisuubula n'embireeta n'entandika obitegeka. Nina abaana bange bendabirira, abaana bali 5 bendabirira. Embeera gye tulimu, embeera kale yo bwetyo kubanga tuli mu kafuko. Ekizibu kye tusinga okuba nakyo kya ttooyi, ntunga ettooyi. Ttooyi bwe buzibu n'ebyensula era nabyo si bya mulembe ddala, si bya mulembe. Ttooyi tulina ekizibu ky'amaanyi nnyo kubanga nayo tusasulira nsasulire mwe tugenda n'abaana.
From Jen's narration, her life's challenges highlight important components of adequate housing. The issue of congested household relates to habitability and the physical structures of housing. The bad conditions of toilets relate to the state of water, sanitation, and hygiene in the area. The cost of using them relates to how accessible the service is. Jen also puts forward the work she does to make an income and sustain the family in this informal settlement of Katwe. All these features are important to make a home complete.
Of course, it's different from different people how you understand where you stay. So meaning that someone, for example, living in Sweden might look at it one way, whereas someone living in Uganda might look at a comfortable, good home where they can enjoy a good living another way.
Of course, if you are from Kasese and another person from Gulu and from Kampala, it's looked at differently.
Housing as a product is the finished building or structure, and housing as a process starts from securing ownership of land to having sanitation facilities and also accessibility to other basic needs like electricity, roads, water, and medical facilities.
Housing is both a process and a product. But when you're looking at housing, it's important that you look at it as a process. From the onset of when you start thinking about where you are staying and where you want to stay.
SSA as an organization was started in 1999 as an organization trying to address issues of adequate housing and human settlements. But along the way we realized that there was no collective voice, no platform for all the different stakeholders who are doing something or the other in informal settlements to be able to come and advocate collectively. So that was the idea that formed the network. And we came together as Uganda Human Settlements Network in 2010. And Uganda Human Settlements Network is a network organization that focuses on addressing issues of adequate housing. We have a specific target as the informal settlements because we realize that the biggest challenge is in the informal settlements of Uganda.
Looking at the Ugandan situation currently, there is an increasing need of housing in both rural and urban areas. Kampala, the administrative and commercial capital of Uganda, just located 45 kilometers north of the equator on the shores of Lake Victoria, is experiencing the greatest pressure from haphazard urban development and is cut short on housing supply.
According to the statistics we have, we are currently producing only 60,000 houses in the country, 20,000 in the urban areas, and 40,000 in the rural areas. But this is very, very inadequate. We would need about 200 housing units per year for the next, say, 20 years to be able to house our people adequately.
In search for opportunities to increase income and create better living conditions, Ugandans continue to move into the urban areas like Kampala, and many opt to stay in informal settlements or slums. So one of the basic facts is that over 60% of Kampala residents live in slums. It is not just a matter of having or reaching the services. For the services to be accessible, we have to ask ourselves some questions. For example, are they affordable for people? And is the quality of living up to good standards?
We are as if we are another country. If we don't have electricity, we have the TV, but it is not on. Our electronics got spoiled because of less electricity. It is less, yet it is very expensive. You come here, we want to make a box for children. You have to buy paraffin, it's also expensive. And this lantern should not be, it is good, but not to use always. It spoils the eyes. At night you don't blow off it because you have members at night get problems, so you keep it on so that whoever wakes up can see whatever he wants. I find it difficult because I use specs, because if I don't put on specs I see nothing, and we miss news, current affairs, whatever.
Listening to Daisy's narrations, we understand how different aspects of living conditions interrelate into how people feel about their home and its surroundings. And it also summarizes into components of adequate housing. By just asking ourselves a few questions, we understand how strongly connected the components of adequate housing are. First, how can you construct a house without first thinking about your ownership to the land?
This being one of the slums in Kampala, and the one which is actually, I could say, the nearest to the city. I strongly believe that in the next 10 years, I think there's likely to be transformation, total transformation in this area. My only fear is that the transformation may, in the long run, sweep away the current local residents. Why do I say that? These are low-income people who cannot afford to buy land here. Okay? May not easily buy this land. So chances are that they may be bought off or compensated, and the rich men may eventually take over this place.
Ekitundu emyaka ejijja okusinziira ennyumba zaffe bwe zifaanana bajja kutusenda. Twagala olaba basenda ennyumba ezitegeerekeka. Bajja kubanga basenze nga balina amayumba agategeerekeka ge basigaddemu abamu.
The land question is one of the cornerstones and the trickiest issue when it comes to access to adequate housing. Secondly, how can you think about renting a house without first thinking about how you will be able to pay that rent? Katwe, as early as 6 a.m. Let's now follow the Galima's Nakafero Lyra when she heads to St. Barikudembe, Owino, to purchase items for selling this Tuesday morning. Like Nakafero, many people prefer staying in Katwe to save transport costs to the city.
I wake up at 6, I have to go and bathe. Then at 6:30, I start off my journey to the market. Reaching to the market, I buy whatever I want. After I come back from the market, so I start off with my work. Kati ogenda mu Owino, ngenda n'emitwalo ebiri okukka wansi kale. Nensubula byemba nsubudde. Amagoba ko nfunako amasaamusaamu nga siringi 7. Naye ng'ate era nina n'okusevinga kwezi sente. N'okulya n'okuterekerako landiroodi ate ne nsevingako. Omulamu obulungi bwe nandyagadde okufuna awantu nga wange nga nsobola okuba nga nina amazzi, nina toilet, nina ekiyigo, abaana balina we bazannyira, bintu ng'ebyo. Naye kati wano kubanga obeera ng'olina toilet yiyo gwe omanyi engeri gy'ogikozesaamu. Naye obanga olina abala buli omu wasanga bw'akozesa ekintu kitegedde. Kale awo naye obeera ng'oli wuwo kibeera beta. Buli kimu okikola osobola okweyonja, osobola kutambuza buli kimu bulungi.
Reaping from the sweat of Nakafero's hard work, have you given thought to your income and how it relates to housing? If you want to improve your living, you have to generate some savings to have somewhere to build from. And to be able to save, you first have to earn something. Access to a stable, reliable income is key when thinking about how to improve your living conditions. All of this is housing and makes us again to understand that thinking of adequate housing is a process that goes beyond the four walls and the roof. Whereas staying in a slum might not be living the dream of a comfortable city life, there are many ways the slum communities are working to overcome the challenges and improve on living conditions.
Amanya gange mpitibwa Mukyala Zaavuga, Consolata Zaavuga. Mbeera muno mu Katwe 2 base zone. Azemu emyaka ntambuza gwana mu 3 guno kati kubanga mu Gwokuna najjuza emyaka 4. Ntambuza gwana mu 3. Kitundu kino okukirwamu mwenfunidde ebirungi byonna. Sijja gamba nti bibi birungi. Nalina omwami wange nanfaako mu 9 nensigalawo ntambuza abaana bange mbalabirira. 98 ngenda kwekebeza nsanga ndi mulwadde saamanya mwami oba naye yafa akawuka kubanga saafuna musajja mpaka saawa ya leero. Okwekebeza luli kwali kutono. kati bwe yagira nemanya nti ndi mulwadde w'akawuka nentambula mpola naye nga siriko ddagala mpola tusalwe namanya okweyunga mu bibiina bino ebirala bya HIV nenfunayo emikwano nange mwenafunira amaanyi omwo bwenavaayo nentandikawo nange gurupu yaffe mpola twatandika abantu nga 10 kati wemanga omuleerwe waliwo ekifo nga kinene nga teri akirimiramu kyenava ngenda nsaba eyali omukulu omuleerwe omwo nampa ekifo netutandika okulima nga abakyala netusimba envu endiirwa ebibala bintu byali bingi tuteekamu amatooke bino bogoya nga tufuna amenvu gaffe nyaanya kumanya twakolanga twatandika n'okutundamuko ennyanya bwe zaabanga mu kyengera nga tutundako ezisigadde nga tulyako nakati kaloti bwe bityo.
Is it really a question of how much you earn in order to start looking at exploring your available options of saving and investing your time to improve your living conditions? Striving to boost income, it is a matter of utilizing every opportunity available.
Twali awo lwakumanyika lwakukola bino nga tumanyika era nga tulina SSA abo division kwe competent nkyala zavugale dangu n'ekibiina kyo kyogerera era waliyo competition z'ebibiina bigenda kubaayo mu makindi ebyaliyo ennaku z'omwezi nzeerabira nti omuntu anawangula ajja kugenda ayogerera ekibiina kye ku district ku lunaku nga olwaleero era omukisa gwatukwata Galima ye yakwata ekisooka mu makindi division ebibiina byali bingi nnyo ebisooka tulina bino ebyemikono byo bingi byetukola mikeeka nsawo bikinga bw'obiraba bingi bwetuvaawo tulina emisubaawa tukola emisubaawa bwetuvaa ku misubaawa tulina ebizigo bino byetukola era ne birongoosa bulungi olususu lwaffe tulina tukola ne bajiya kubanga bajiya twagenda okulaba kyekintu ekyanguwa ekiyingiriza mangu abakyala omukyala n'obwaba atudde awaka asobola okutundayo kiro y'engeemu oba 2 tusiba bwa 10 bwa 2 n'obw'ebitaano.
But most importantly, the Uganda Human Settlements Network supports initiatives from the community groups themselves, like the cleanup campaigns carried out by Galima every second Saturday of the month in Katwe.
Twatuula ne bamemba ne tusalawo nti tutandika okulongoosa ekitundu kyaffe ne tutandika mpolampola ne SSA ne tugamba katwambuke waggulu tulabagane n'aba KCCA Makindi la KCCA nga tugisaba etuwa bimotoka tetuwa bikozesebwa wabula ng'etuwa bimotoka bwe tugira kasasiro nga tumuteekaawo nga bijja bimunoona bimutwala n'abamu abakulu kuva mu KCC basobodde okutweyungako kujja nga bagenda nga balaba kiki tukola naye ng'amaanyi gonna tugawajje ku SSA mu shelter yetutumbudde nga Galima naffe ne twefaako ne tutandika okukola ebintu byetusomesa ne tutabituulira.
The Uganda Human Settlements Network is an organization committed to promoting and advocating for the right to adequate housing. More so, the network mobilizes communities in capacity building initiatives in Uganda.
Tuli mu kuyiga amataffaali n'amategula amangu g'okukola nga tukozeseza bintu bingi nnyo ate nga tuli mazibu kukola. Amataffaali gano tugakozesa musenyu, ettaka ne seminti. Era wendi wano kati njiza okubikola sobola okubikola ne tuyiga n'okukola amategula. Tegula ngo tukozesa musenyu, sementi n'amazzi ne tutabula ne tukola ettegula lyaffe ne livaayo bulungi nnyo tuteekamu ne kala gye tuba twagadde oba obungi bwa kala eyo ne lifuluma nga lirabika bulungi. Tuyiga okukola ebintu bino singa tusobodde okufuna awantu etusobola okwezimbira tusobola okuba nga tumanyi biri ebintu bye tukoze tubajja twangira singa tuba tufunye amagezi ag'okukola ebintu bino ne tusobola okwezimbira gaffe tubyekoledde maanyi gaffe ne mu magezi gaffe ge tufunye wano.
I was thinking when you've been engaging with Galima for a number of years and a number of times, what's been your feeling of engaging with them, and I don't know if you can compare with other groups, or what have made them where they are more today?
I've noted over the period is that that organization has been very much on the ground, okay, compared to some groups which are associated with the other NGOs who rarely come down to the grassroots. This organization has been very much on the ground physically. Number two, the frequency of engagements that Galima has been having with I must also commend it. It is what has contributed to that first yeah.
One of the benefits of working with the communities that we're working with now is that we are also teaching them how to be able to save, how to be able to generate more resources. So in the next 10 years, I see these communities in a different position from where they are now. They will have saved resources, they will have been able to access facilities, credit facilities, housing materials. I see them as actually having changed from informal settlements to ownership of good and decent living. Also, we would want to call on all stakeholders, all community groups, all key change makers, because we have started a very important initiative here, but we want to see it sustainable. We want to see it to be able to go through to the end, so that we can change the face of these settlements, so that even as they are informal, but they still have access to the basic needs, the basic rights. So I call on all stakeholders to be able to come and join with us, the network, and make sure that we can do this together.
Adequate housing, my right or responsibility.